Today I want to go over a hip hinge drill. So a hip hinge is when we're able to keep our trunk relatively fixed or neutral, and then all of the motion is coming from our hips. So what we're really looking for is that the back should stay flat and then the hips go back. So if I hold my shirt tight, you can see that the majority of the motion is coming from my hips. So you can do this and use visual feedback by either looking into a mirror to see that your back is remaining relatively flat and that your hips are doing the moving. Or sometimes I'll have people even go up against a wall and stand just, 4 to 6 inches away from the wall, and then tap your rear end up against the wall and back up. So I'll usually have people start with limited depth until they can figure out that hinge movement or hinge mechanics. And then you can take it a step further and move through greater range of motion by practicing something like a deadlift. So you can start with the hinge, and then you can add the back movement. So everyone's different, but many times what I'll see in people with back pain is that they're getting the vast majority of their movement coming from the lumbar spine or the low back rather than being able to hinge from their hips. So when I look at some people, having them just bending over, performing a deadlift motion, instead of hinging at the hips, what I'll see is the lumbar spine will do the vast majority of the work, and then only the hips only do part of it. So if you have access to something like a broomstick or just something that's light and rigid, you could even utilize that to give you tactile cues where your body can feel that it maintains contact with the different points, and I can show that. So I've got a PVC pipe. I'm gonna hold it up against my back, and you wanna try to maintain those 3 points of contact between the head, the mid-back, and the tailbone, and keep that contact as you hinge. So a lot of people, if they have difficulty with their lumbar spine, they'll lose contact. But this gives you a cue, trying to keep contact with all those points to help you maintain the proper mechanics of the hip hinge. So give that a go. It's a great idea to try this as a warm-up before doing any type of deadlift or anything where you're really focusing on hinge mechanics. So maybe you run through it 15, 20 times, get that movement pattern. You can use whatever cues worked well for you, and then you can progress to whatever movement you were gonna work on. Give that a go.